Hello, good evening. We are live and hopefully you can hear me. Tonight, you've got me. So let's kick this thing off the right way. Welcome to the Generation X Wing podcast, your modern look at our awesome retro lifestyle. Tonight, like I said, I'm going to be your host because it's my movie choice. And that movie choice is the 1996 sports comedy from the Farrelly brothers, Kingpin. But I can't do this on my own. So tonight, I'll be joined by
Jamie and Pale Rider.
as well as
Rob Williams.
And tonight we got a special. Tonight we are going to be joined by a third co-host for me, a fourth member of the team for now, as Neil has decided to take a little bit of time away, quite rightly, spend with his family, didn't want to have a hole there. So tonight we're also going to be joined by
Steve Hosenose.
Yay!
What did we do to deserve this, you're all saying? Well, I can tell you, nothing. It was our only choice. So you've now got two Steves, and we've got to figure that out. That's not for you to figure out. That's for us to figure out. But as I say, welcome, Steve.
Thank you. I'm glad to be here.
Hopefully you're going to enjoy... Oh, you didn't need to go for ages, but yeah,
I
hopefully you're going to enjoy it.
Smooth as silk. I love
I don't, your subs don't go down with me joining.
Never. I say that
really
now with
about
positivity.
This. Super excited.
Yeah, I got big shoes to fill with stepping in for Neil. So.
Oh, hang on, sir. Sick. Are we going live on YouTube? Do you think we're here?
No.
Do you think we're live? No, come on.
No.
I think we're live. We got to be live.
It says live for 2 minutes.
I feel like we're live.
Unless there's a delay. Like I'm looking at our channel right now on YouTube and I don't see anything.
Oh my gosh, really?
Let me refresh.
Come on.
Such a great intro.
Yeah, it was a very good intro.
There we go.
So we are live.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so it was
Thanks
the
for
intro
the panic.
stays. The intro stays. Fantastic.
Perfect.
Awesome. the fantastic intro and smooth introduction to Steve Hosenose Lewis.
All right. Well, that's that out of the way.
Yeah.
That's that out of the way. Let's get on with this. So, like I said, tonight I'm going to be talking about Kingpin. So let's unzip our bags, shine up our balls, and let's see what this movie's like 28 years later after it came out, shall we? So this is Kingpin, 1996 American sports comedy film directed by Peter and Bobby Farrelly, who we all know and love as the Farrelly brothers, starring Woody Harrelson, Randy Quaid, Vanessa Angel, Bill Murray, and more. We'll get into that a bit later as another little bit. It's telling the story of the journey of a once shining, rising bowling star who, after being, I would say, set up to fail, ends up brutally handicapped, becomes penniless alcoholic, down on his luck, trying to find any way to survive as a bowling supply salesman, until one day he hears the sound of a promising Amish talent. Is it Amish or Amish for you guys?
Amish.
Amish.
Yeah, Amish. Yeah.
And that's where our story begins. So that sets the scene. And I'll go into you guys. When was the first time you watched Kingpin? Let's start with Jamie.
I didn't see this in the theater, but I did see it as soon as it came to home video, basically. Yeah, that's pretty much a theme for me. Especially at that point in time. But yeah, it's been since 1996 since I saw this last.
Yeah, okay. So it was on home video.
Yeah.
Steve, what about you? When did you watch this?
I'm pretty sure I watched this in the cinema, as you would say.
Ooh.
And yeah, so back in the day, and it's been in regular rotation for me and my friends.
So you were the cinema goer.
I think I was.
Interesting. Rob, what about you?
Sorry, did you hear that buzzing sound?
Yeah.
Okay.
That might have been my air compressor going off in the background. I am in the car hold.
It's a great start.
Okay,
Steve.
there you go.
Great
Awesome.
start.
All right.
You get what you pay for, my friends.
Put some headphones on it. They won't be able to hear it.
I thought I had seen this movie before. Apparently, I've never seen this movie before. So this was the first time I've seen it.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh. What did you think it was?
I don't know. I just I thought, okay, I can't be getting this confused with The Big Lebowski, but for some, maybe I guess I was.
They're kind of similar.
Kind of similar. Big Lebowski's a bit better, but it was just like it was bowling, and I guess I don't know. I guess I thought I
Okay,
did.
so that's good. We got a VHS watcher, we've got a cinema goer watcher, and we got a newbie 28 years after. Okay,
When
that's
did you
good.
see it first, Steve?
I watched it on VHS. I watched it on video too. I never went to see it at the cinema. I heard about it after it was out, and I watched it on video too. And I remember watching it on video and loving it, absolutely thinking it was hilarious at the time.
I don't think a lot
which
of
is
people
weird.
watched this, didn't they?
What?
I don't think
What's
a lot
that?
of people saw. I don't think a lot of people saw this in the theater, from what I understand.
I think this was their worst performing.
No,
movie.
I mean, it was after they'd done Dumb. So they did Dumb and Dumber, and obviously thought
Mhm.
this was a role. Anything they can do is just going to be gold.
Yeah.
But it was. I mean, when it came out of the cinema, it just bombed. I mean, I couldn't find out an absolute on the budget. So one thing I read was like the budget was 25 million and it made 25 million. I just know it had like five. It was ridiculous. It was like 5 million on the first weekend or something like that. It was just not good.
Steve, 3 question for you, just kind of in that same vein. Where did this movie come out in relation to something about Mary Fairley Brothers? As
Something
well?
about Mary came
Yeah.
after this.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So they recovered.
Right. So they
Okay.
did Dumb and Dumber, then they did this, and it was like, oh wow, that's not good. But it
Yeah,
happened.
this-
I mean,
yeah.
from what I was reading, it happened around the time that the Olympics were happening in Atlanta, and the bomb was going off, and all this stuff, and it
Right.
was just there was so much other stuff going on. The studio didn't put any advertising out for it, anything like that.
Why would that affect the advertising of this movie?
But if you don't advertise it, people don't know it's even coming out, right?
No, I guess maybe I misunderstood. The Olympic bombing, that didn't stop the advertising.
Oh, just
did it?
other things were happening in the world,
okay.
which
Oh, yeah.
people were focused on, right? And if you don't advertise, then you don't know. But you
Gotcha,
would think
gotcha.
that after Dumb and Dumber, you're going to go out and see this movie, and it's going to be, the next best thing. But it didn't happen for them, and
It's so
they
weird
couldn't
that
really
the studio
understand
didn't
why.
advertise it. Yeah, why do you know why? Like in your research, did you see why the studio didn't
The
advertise
studio
it?
just decided they weren't going to do it.
Weird.
Yeah,
I wonder if they were just relying on the popularity of the Fairley Brothers at that
Probably.
point just to drive interest.
right. Because when it came down to something about Mary, they went with, I think it was Fox at that point, and they were like, dude, they said to him, they loved the movie. If they'd have come to, if you'd have come to
Yeah.
us, it would have been a totally different story at this point.
I wonder if the studio wasn't confident in the movie, like in Kingpin, because it does feel like a low point for the Fairley Brothers, and maybe the studio saw it and they're like, we're not going to waste money advertising this thing.
It's really weird because the script
Yeah.
seemed good. They enjoyed making it. They loved making it. They thought it was going to be, an absolute hit. And then in return to that, or in reply to that, they actually went out and made something about Mary and thought, right, we're going to put every, typical sexual reference and see how far we can push the boat out. And that ended up being better than even Dumb and Dumber, I think. And so they got away with it. I think they were just totally blown away with why this movie wasn't an instant hit. But the thing is, once it came out on video, that's when things changed. It was when it, as with some of the, well, if not most of the movies we review, we call them the cult classics. But I think it's just the fact that you didn't go to the cinema to see it. You hear about it from people that did go, and then you start hearing word of mouth because there's no internet. So then you go out and get it on video, and then you love it. So this one came into its own when it came out on video.
That's such a weird and kind of a sad thing to think about when it comes to movies, and just that secondary market, the home video market, kind of making movies popular after the theater run, and you just don't have that anymore. That's probably why Hollywood is in the state that it is, where they're not doing anything risky or anything like that.
It's
like there's no
streaming
chances being taken, and it's all just the fast food movies, like just cookie cutter stuff.
Yeah.
Because there is no, like, it's got to be big immediately or they don't make money on it.
Exactly. Yeah. It's got to hold that box office. But it
Yeah,
held
that
up, like I said,
sucks.
it held up on video. I think it was #1 for 4 months or something like that.
On home
and then
video?
when it moved down to something like #5 or something like that on the 5th month or whatever else happened. But they held it high for video release. And I remember it coming out on video, and I remember absolutely loving it, thinking this is hilarious. But I guess instead of saving it to the end, how did it hold up? So when was the last? So that was the last time you watched it, Jamie, when it came out.
Yeah, on home video. Yeah.
Okay, so
Yeah,
how
I
did
hadn't
it
seen
hold
it
up?
since.
How did it hold up for you after
In a
watching
word, it didn't. Yeah, like it wasn't as funny as I remember. I came
Yeah.
in really excited to watch it,
Yeah.
just because like Fairly Brother movies to me are just like the classic kind of 90s comedies. Like they owned a decade of comedies in Hollywood. They were the guys.
hmm
And I remembered the movie being funnier. And it fell pretty flat for me on this watch, unfortunately.
Interesting.
Yeah, I kind of agree. Steve, what about you? You said you've watched it many times since, right? And love it.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
it held up for me. And maybe it's because I got some nostalgia stuff going on with it
Yeah.
or whatever. Maybe it's because of one of these ones where I know the jokes coming, and just this is one of Bill Murray's greatest roles. Big
See,
Earn.
I would agree. I would agree with that too. You know,
Because
the
I'm pretty.
movie.
I have a feeling like Bill Murray's dialogue was all improv. Like
I would
he
be
probably had a
surprised.
very
You're
loose
100%.
script.
You're
right?
100%
But
right. You're
yeah,
100% right.
He's golden in this. So
Yeah. So it stood up for you. You still enjoyed it.
oh yeah, totally.
All
Yeah,
right.
when you
Let's
said
go.
we're doing it, I went and bought it.
Yeah. I nearly did the same thing, but I ran
Yeah.
out of time, so I ended up having to rent it.
Yeah,
but-
because I think I got rid of all my VHS tapes a long time ago when the moves, and so I
Yeah.
was like, "Yep, all right."
Did you get
excuse to buy
the
this.
regular version or the R-rated version?
I don't know.
Oh.
What's
It came
the
with-
wonder if I
It
saw
came with all
R-rated
the
version.
special features stuff. So
Well, no, there's a couple more minutes of extra footage of probably more boobs bouncing and
oh
stuff that probably couldn't make it out.
well, I probably got the
something.
regular whatever was available on Apple TV is what I
Okay.
bought. So
Okay.
I ended up
So-
getting the unrated or like the director's cut or whatever, but yeah, I don't know what the difference is.
No, I would
The
have to watch it
Redux.
again and try and find out. Virgin Rob, let's go to you. How did you hold up with this 90s comedy in the year 2024?
Dude, Steve Hosenose, you are an enigma. This
I
is
am.
like my least favorite Bill Murray performance.
What?
One of my least favorite. I did not enjoy this movie.
Because of Bill Murray?
No, well, he was actually strangely a big part of it. I really
Well,
did not
but
enjoy his
Bill Murray or Big Earn.
Like a big part of you not enjoying it?
I didn't enjoy the character. I didn't enjoy I don't enjoy Fairly movies. I loved Something About Mary. I really enjoyed Dumb and Dumber, but the rest, like Shallow Hal and all, it's just I wasn't into that sort of stuff. So this was like, yeah, this is a Fairly Brothers movie. There was like a bingo chart I was checking off while watching this. It was just like I laughed maybe 5 times. And
Well, that's good though, Rob. That's good. I think 5
in
times laughed
in an hour and a half movie.
Yeah, I think that's good.
And it wasn't
Bad work.
any Bill Murray stuff. I did not like. He wasn't funny to me. Like it just wasn't. It was
Even his
kind of
hair?
dull.
yeah, even,
I was
yeah.
laughing at his
Even the
hair
hair?
alone.
Nah.
That
Like,
last
that-
bowling
that-
scene?
Well, or even
Oh.
for that curly fro at the very beginning.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like, come on.
that was great.
I mean, I actually think I looked at the very final scene of Bill Murray as he's saying goodbye to everybody and being carted off. You see that bald patch, but I could say like you could see it's a friggin' bald cap. It started
Yeah.
wrinkling
Oh, yeah.
and stuff.
He
It was
kind of
just
looked like a burn victim that was.
he looked like a burn
covering
It was
victim.
like,
Yeah, I
like
love that.
Deadpool's-
Yeah.
top of Deadpool's head.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. But it was still
Like an
freaking
avocado,
hilarious in
fucking
my mind. It was
avocado.
one of the things that was getting me.
I really enjoyed Woody Harrelson though. I actually
Uh-huh.
did dig him in this movie, but the
Yeah.
rest I just not didn't have the time for.
Well, it's
So-
funny because Steve alluded to this. Bill Murray absolutely 100% improvised pretty much all of his lines.
Mhm.
He would go to the
That's
directors and he would speak to them about what they want to achieve in each scene he went into, and he was like, "Yeah, I don't need
I got
these.
this."
I got
Yeah.
this." That's literally what he would say to him. I got this. And each time they did a take,
You didn't get it.
he would do a different take. He would do a different line. He would have something. So everything you see him do there was pretty much improv and just
Mhm.
came out at
Yeah.
the time making it. And they had an absolute blast with it, as I can imagine they would. And that's why I agree with Steve. I think this is probably one of his better movies because it's
Mm.
really him and it's just coming out of his head. And that's why I think is funny. And the character, we're not supposed to like the character, man.
Yeah.
We're
I
supposed to
know
hate this
that,
guy.
but I didn't find it funny either though.
Maybe he comes by being a douchebag a little too honestly for Rob.
Bill Murray was funnier back in his earlier years. This is not a time I enjoy Bill Murray, I guess.
Like how did his character in this one, Rob, compare to his character in Groundhog Day?
Groundhog Day.
Like was his character in Groundhog Day more likable?
You can't compare the two. Groundhog Day, he had more heart. He was actually the whole movie's about him. You can't compare the two. I mean,
still an asshole on Groundhog Day.
Yeah, he was a dick.
But he was an asshole who was revived.
No, he was a dick. He wasn't an asshole. Okay, this is different.
There's Team America now.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes. Groundhog Day. He started as the dick. He was kind of rude to everybody. Yeah, but he was never like over the top rude. Bill Murray was over the top. It was almost like mustache twirling villain sort of thing. It was like rolling on the ground. You never saw like the Bill Murray from Groundhog Day doing that. And it's just he was a
big head. He was just a big ego trip. And that thing.
I feel like that's pretty common with Farrelly Brothers movies, though. Like that characterization felt very familiar.
Yeah, there's a bingo chart for this for the Farrelly Brothers that I was.
You're not wrong. I don't disagree with that at all.
Yeah, but anyways, I don't want to keep shitting on Bill Murray because I do respect his work, but this was not one.
It's good to get your point of view on it. So. I mean, he was pretty much the only one who could really play or really chuck those balls down and hit the pins because Woody was terrible. They had to get a body double in for everything. He was just terrible at it.
Oh, did Bill actually throw the ball?
Yeah.
Oh, that's impressive.
One of the interesting things is that last scene where he has to get the 3 strikes. He did that.
Oh, that's
awesome. They rented this huge arena to go and film it in there, and they're really worried about the fact that they got to get this scene. They don't know how long they're going to be there. They got all the extra. They didn't want to pay extras, so they just got all their friends to come in. Any non-speaking lines, they would get their friends to come in and fill it, and just random people come in and fill it. And they were getting worried that because of the quality of bowling they were getting from Woody, that they were going to be there all day trying to get 3 freaking strikes. But apparently that scene that we watch with the 3 strikes, those 3 strikes were consecutively got one after the other by Bill Murray. And the reaction of the crowd was absolutely legit because they could all go home.
That's impressive.
So it was impressive.
It doesn't surprise me at all that Bill Murray is good at bowling for some reason.
I don't know. But yeah, you look at his form and it is very weird.
It is. Yeah, he does have and like part of that, I felt like he hammed it up a little bit to make it look sillier than it needed to be. Like I assume he doesn't normally bowl like that unless he's trying to get a laugh.
Oh no, they were hamming it up. I'm sure they were hamming it up. I mean, they brought coaches in.
It was pretty funny though.
Because he just couldn't get it down the end. So they actually brought coaches in to try and
Have
coach
you
him.
ever been 10-pin bowling before?
Yes.
It's fucking hard.
Come on.
5-pin.
It is really
That's the way
difficult.
to go.
Yeah. I used to 5-pin bowl when I was a kid. And like 10-pin bowling is impossible to me.
I've been watching, like, if you watch the newer bowlers, it's a completely different way of playing. It's very fascinating how they hold it and spin it, and it's incredible the skill level that's in 10-pin bowling.
Speaking of skill level, you talked about the wig that Big Aaron was wearing.
Segue.
Woody Harrelson actually shaved his hair.
What?
And apparently, he shaved his head
was
all the way
already bald.
down. He did not wear a wig. That was all his own hair, and apparently he grew that comb over. But I don't know if that's true.
Amazing.
I don't know if that's true because if you look, you can kind of see like a wig.
I'm calling BS on that one.
He definitely shaved his head.
It was
he was bald.
Clean line up there.
Yeah.
So I had that thought of like it looks like he just went just like right down the middle.
He was committed. He shaved his head. He wanted that. He
That's
wanted that
awesome,
whip over. That.
But like
that
you
scene where he's
can't
in the
accomplish
guy's-
Bill Murray's hair in the second half of the film naturally.
Yeah.
Like that's all special effects.
Yeah.
Special effects.
It was kind of some of the funniest shit I've seen, man. That last montage of bowling was just ridiculous. So what about the other characters though? How do we feel about the other characters? Like how do we feel about Randy Quaid as Ishmael?
Really tough.
What was tough about it?
He's not funny.
Randy Quaid is just not he doesn't come across as a versatile or skilled actor to me. Like the only thing that I've actually enjoyed him in is Christmas Vacation.
You didn't enjoy him in Independence Day?
I was going to say
No.
Independence Day. Yeah,
No,
I respect him in Independence Day. He played himself.
Yeah, that's a thing. That's the thing is you get the sense as Cousin Eddie or the pilot in Independence Day. That's just him.
Mhm.
You're getting Randy Quaid.
Yeah.
For like this,
Steve.
he tried to like act and put on a character. You're like, "Ugh, maybe stay in your lane, Randy."
Other Steve, how did you find Randy Quaid?
He didn't bug me so much. I think he did a good job playing that like super naive. Oh, I gotta keep my eye on you, and his mannerisms and
yeah.
stuff. I think he did a really good job with that. I didn't like the some of the later stuff where he's like, all corrupted and he's smoking and hitting the
was an
bong
easy
and stuff
slide.
like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think he did a good job with the naive Amish kid. The
Yeah.
kid, they keep calling him. He was like 16 years older than everybody.
They even allude to him because I was like, I wonder if he's supposed to be playing a really young, but he's not. They allude to him being 40 years old. When they go out looking for him, they allude to him being 40 years old,
Yeah.
but just very innocent.
Yeah.
Very innocent before we get that striptease reveal of him
Oh,
on the
yeah.
stripper pole, which was ridiculous. So that's what about Claudia? What about Vanessa Angel? I don't think I've seen her in anything else.
I think she's
Probably
still
for good
working on her
reason.
American accent. Holy crows, that was rough. I don't even know why they told her to try an American accent. Just stick with your British accent and just go from there. It was rough. It was really rough. So she was there for the TNA, and that was it.
And what did you think of that?
It was fine. I mean, I'm never going to complain about the TNA. I mean, she did what she had to do. She pushed her up and got all the nipples going out and everything. But it was just like, it was hard listening to her try to switch from accent to accent back and forth. I don't know what she was trying to attempt. I thought just go for one and stick with it.
I don't know. I quite enjoyed her presence on the screen. Actually, I quite enjoyed the character. I thought it was a good break between the load of them. It was good. I enjoyed it. Jamie, same for you. Too much. Couldn't abide the accent.
It didn't feel like she was a very good actress. I'm trying to be really nice here and not like just be mercilessly crapping on someone, but
it was her birthday last week, so be kind.
Yeah,
it's just I don't give a shit about that.
Well,
it just honestly, like, you think about Cameron Diaz in There's Something About Mary was pretty good.
That was really good.
Renee Zellweger in Me, Myself, and Irene was great. And God, why am I spacing on her name all of a sudden?
From Dumb and Dumber?
From Dumb and Dumber. Is it Lauren Holly?
I can't remember.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, it was.
Is it?
Yep.
She was amazing. She was exactly what they needed her to be. And maybe it's just that the movie around those actresses was better all around.
They were written better, though.
Oh, this one was tough. It was really tough, man.
She was. I don't even know what her role was. She really had no impact on the movie.
It felt like she was supposed to be like, the streetwise, like, I don't know.
Well, I think what Steve said. I think she's supposed to be like the foil to all these two zaniness, and she's kind of almost like the straight man in some ways, right?
Yeah.
So
yeah,
If they
want to make it, and they want to get the money, they got to listen to her. She's been playing the game for a long time. You know?
Yeah,
like that's kind of a cool setup, like having her be the kind of the street smart, kind of dirty rotten scoundrels, like con man type thing. Like that's a great idea and a great setup for a character. I just don't know if she pulled it off really well.
It was never followed through. The ending, we'll probably get into it, but the ending, she wasn't a part of it. She really wasn't a part of the ending, and neither was Quaid, actually. It was just...
That was a weird kind of turn of events.
For me, though, I thought it was
like a bit of a rug yank.
Yeah, the way that you have it all built up to be Ishmael is going to go out there and win this tournament, and then it comes down to it. It's actually a role reversal and a turnaround and a find some sanity for Roy. I kind of liked that part of the movie.
Yeah, but that's not the ending. That's just the work up to the ending. It made sense that he had to fight his demons. But in the end, it was just handed to him. It was like out of the blue, he gets a condom fucking promotion.
Rubber
That was
Man.
that was never leaked. I thought maybe did that have to do with Chris Elliott's character? Nope. Chris Elliott character was pointless. It was just like all of a
Oh
sudden.
no, it wasn't.
Oh
it
yeah,
wasn't pointless, Rob. It wasn't
It was
pointless.
just so
If
they
it
could
wasn't
do
for
the
Chris
indecent
Elliott-
proposal joke.
Yeah,
that
totally.
point
Yeah.
that had no effect on the movie. No effect on the movie.
You just
Yeah.
hate it because it's Chris. What's his face?
I'm not a huge
Chris
Chris Elliott
Elliott.
fan.
Yeah, I
but
know
I'm
you
not-
hate
I'm-
Chris Elliott so much.
I don't hate him, but I'm not a. I mean, it's a fairly movie. He's got to be in there somewhere, right? But it's just like the ending was handed. It was a participation medal. That's exactly what it was. I mean, he didn't win. I was like, oh, okay, that's a twist. All right, that better than M. Night Shyamalan can do. And then we
True.
we go to the house, and it's just like I brought the money back. It's okay. I got money, and now we can pay off things. Nice
no,
and
but it's
clean.
but the thing is, it's not pay off things. It was give it back to the community and save them from going bankrupt.
But
That
I know
part was
that's
good.
exactly. But they didn't get it honestly. They didn't get
they
it.
did, they did get it honestly. He got
No,
given
they
a
didn't. He
condom.
got that. There was no lead up to that whatsoever. There was
Oh,
He
nothing.
was the rubber
I
man.
didn't have a problem with that.
The
I had a
rubber man
problem
was
with
the rubber man was brought in about 5 minutes into
They had
the
they had
bowling
signs
match.
up.
There
There was
was
competition.
there was no. I'm not buying it. That
the
was
part that bugged me
that was
about that
amending.
switch
Didn't
at the
have it.
end was Woody Harrelson all of a sudden being forced to try to bowl and being amazing at it.
Mhm.
Like over the last 20 or whatever years, he's never tried to bowl
No, because
once.
they crushed his dreams and hopes, so he went into the bottle, and that's what the
With
whole
his
thing's
rubber
about.
hand.
I just come on, you didn't try once to do it with the claw or the hand? Like, come on.
I don't think he did. And I love that
Yeah.
part where you first establish his claw, and he gets in the car and he does the mirror, and the mirror comes off, and he's like,
See,
"Ugh."
that
Oh,
was
yeah.
funny.
And then he
Tears
gets
his
out the
jacket.
car.
That's fine.
That whole
And there
sequence
goes the
was great.
handle.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was a great sequence.
Yeah, that
But
was good.
Where was the dad? What was the point in
He was dead.
doing this? But no, where was they built up this whole thing about him and his dad
Yeah.
at the beginning, and it felt like there should have been some payoff, and then they're talking about the watch. Didn't wind the watch. Dad.
But that just goes to show, like what James. But that's what Jamie
everything
just
was
said.
just
He never tried to wind the watch. He
Yeah.
never tried to. He just sunk himself into, I can't possibly do anything, and I'm just going to waste my life without even trying.
yeah. But I just felt this whole thing was there was a lot of things that started a good idea and they just kind of petered off and replaced by another good idea. By another,
I think
quote,
the
unquote,
ideas
good
were
idea.
there in my mind. The ideas were there. Whether they were executed perfectly, probably not. But then
Yeah.
here's the other thing: watching it back when I watched it when it came out in the late 90s, I didn't have any of this to say about it at all. As far as I was concerned, it was bloody hilarious.
Yeah.
It was very tongue in cheek, and it was one of the best things I'd seen. And watching it now, I don't disagree. I was there going, and Ali was watching it for the first time as well. She'd never seen it before. She was chuckling away, and she was just like holding her head, and oh my god, when things were happening. So, but she found it entertaining for sure.
Yeah.
I, on the other hand, watched it and thought, I remember it being a little bit better than this. I
Well,
remember
we're-
it being more impactful. And
We're
I
sitting
was
down to review
cringing.
the movie, right?
Mm.
Yeah.
And I feel like it's expected that we're going to look at it a little bit more critically, right?
Oh,
and be a
100%.
little more balanced. And yeah, it felt like the story was really disjointed and didn't have a good flow to it. And like I'm always going to compare it to other Fairley Brothers movies like Dumb and Dumber, like There's Something About Mary, like there's Me, Myself, and Irene. And
But
like those movies are silly as fuck as well.
yeah.
But the story flows so much better in those movies. Like it just felt like the script was tighter in those movies.
Well, they consciously went in there with, we're not going to do this the same as what we did Dumb and Dumber. We're not going to do joke after joke with, no heart in the movie whatsoever, right? So they figured if they did that again, it would be different. So this time they tried to go in there and purposely kind of have a bit of heart to the movie, a bit of something else to follow, make something better than they did with Dumb and Dumber, right? So if you think about endings of Dumb and Dumber, like where did that get them? Again, there was no shining ending to that one either. It was
No.
just ridiculousness and silliness all the way through.
The ending to Dumb and Dumber made sense. It felt like, even though it wasn't satisfying in terms of a traditional movie, it from start to finish, it flowed, and where they ended off, it made complete sense in terms of the characters in the story. It felt like
And
this
you don't-
movie was
and
just
so
like they
you
were
don't
just
feel
like,
there's any closure to the movie in this one.
oh, there's closure for sure. That's not what I'm saying. Is
Hmm.
like there's no closure in Dumb and Dumber. Like they're stranded in the middle of nowhere on a highway when they could have easily had a ride with a bunch of ladies. And like no, but that did not make sense for their characters. And
Yeah.
it's not a satisfying ending at all, but it made sense for the
Hmm.
characters and the story.
Yeah, I, yeah, Steve. I mean, you're a fan of it. Do you agree?
I was fine with the ending. I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, it's a little okay. He gets a contract with the condom company, sure. But like you said though, it was earned. They did go on this voyage. They wound up going to the competition. He played his way through with a rubber hand. He got to the final. He faced his demon, his mortal enemy, Big Earn.
Mhm.
And then it would have been worse if he won, right? I think the ending would have sucked if he won.
Yeah,
Agreed.
And so I
kind of hoped he had one at this point.
you just want I want to turn it off now. Yeah, no, I didn't have a problem with any of that ending. I mean, it's a Farrelly brother movie, so we shouldn't be dissecting it too hard for the story arc and artistic integrity.
No, I felt like their other movies were a little more cohesive. They just
Yeah,
had
I
a
can see that.
nicer, a more natural flow to them.
hmm
Do you think it would have been different if they had got the other choices they wanted to have to play the characters? Because
Oh, who are they thinking
See,
about?
so the Ishmael character they originally wanted and had an agreement to get Chris Farley. So Chris Farley would have played Ishmael.
Oh
So-
man, that would have been awesome.
Unfortunately, he was doing
That's
Black
interesting.
Sheep.
Damn
So
it.
because he was
I
doing
mean,
Black
Black
Sheep,
Sheep's really
he
good.
couldn't do this, but he wanted to,
That's interesting.
That would have been great.
and that's why
I
they
love
went.
Chris Farley, though.
And that's why they went the other way.
Hmm.
But if they
Hmm.
didn't go the other way,
Hmm.
because originally they were thinking about using, I think it was Jim Carrey again, and they had I think it was Michael Keaton they had in mind to play Big Earn as well, or something like that. It
I
was
can see that.
ridiculous. So I
I
don't
think
know.
Jim Carrey would have been too much. He
Yeah.
would have
Yeah.
dominated every
Yeah.
scene. Like there would have
Yeah.
been no keeping up with him. And then
Yeah.
him and Bill Murray together, it'd be like two worlds colliding.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Bill
Yeah.
Murray, the casting of him as Big Earn is perfect.
Mhm.
100% perfect. Like I can't think of anybody better.
but they wouldn't have got Bill Murray if they didn't get Randy Quaid, because Randy Quaid had worked with Bill Murray on what's the movie they did before that? Another one of Bill Murray's greats. Oh my god, what's the name of the movie? I've totally
Yeah,
forgotten
I
what it
know,
was.
but I've totally forgotten what you're talking about. I know.
But they worked together on that movie, and so they were saying that they wanted to get Bill Murray. They first proposed it to Bill Murray, and he wasn't interested. And then they got Randy Quaid. And Randy Quaid said, "I know Bill. Let me talk to him." And then because they didn't have a phone number to contact Bill Murray with, they didn't know how to get hold of him. So he came back in and said, "Yep," he said he'll do it. And they said, "Oh, we need to get hold of him." No, I've told him where he needs to be. I've told him when it's going to happen. And apparently they went into 3 weeks of filming before they needed to film anything with Bill Murray. And they were shitting their pants thinking, we got nothing. We don't even know if he's going to show up. And
Dude,
they
that's
showed up
such a
at
common-
7 a.m. on
Yeah.
the day he was supposed to be there. And they went on and he
He did that on Ghostbusters too.
Right.
They weren't sure if he was going to show up or not.
So, thinking about it, if this course of events hadn't happened, they wouldn't have got what they got in some respect. But I mean, we haven't mentioned the star of the show, Lynn Shay.
Oh yes.
And Lynn Shay plays the landlady.
Oh, fuck.
She's awesome.
She is absolutely
She is
brilliant.
Brilliant. in this,
She's
yeah.
hilarious.
What
She got the role by showing up to the audition, because I think they first worked with her because her is it her brother? I think it was her brother was one of the producers or something on their first movie, and they said, "Oh, it was for Dumb and Dumber." And he said, "Oh, I have someone in mind. I got my sister." And they're like, "Oh, I don't know about this." And she came in and she did what she did, and they loved her. So she just
so
became
good.
the woman with the dog. So then they knew they wanted to get her in for this for an audition. but she showed up unannounced, dressed as that character,
Oh my
fully
God.
dressed as her, hair all greasy, face all like
The
flaky,
teeth.
the yellow
Oh, God,
teeth
the
and stuff,
teeth.
with a
Oh.
cigarette hanging out. She walked into the audition room. They thought she was homeless. So they were thinking about how they're going to politely ask this lady to leave and that she shouldn't be here. And as they went up to say that,
Amazing.
she just went, "Gotcha!" And they were like, "That's it. We don't
That's
need to
amazing.
audition anyone else. You
She's
got the
great.
That's
job."
funny.
She's
Yeah,
a
it
high
was
point in the movie.
Yeah.
probably one of the most memorable scenes in,
You know, it's
I would say,
weird.
any movie.
Yeah. What's weird now though is seeing her in like the Insidious movies and stuff, where she's playing a straight,
Straight,
you know,
yeah.
and I'm like, what? Magda? What's going on? I'm
Yeah.
so confused.
And I never put the two and two together until I was looking into this, that she was
Oh.
Magda as well in Something About
See,
Mary.
No,
every-
now that I didn't realize that until you just mentioned it. I
Yeah.
didn't realize she was
But what
Magda.
Awesome.
What an
Yeah.
amazing character actor, man.
Yeah.
She gets into
100%.
gets
Yeah.
into it. And that scene, that was, it's, well, we can get into favorite scenes if you've got any, but
Let's do it.
yeah,
Go, go, go.
let's do that.
So many.
Let's do that. Let's think about if there was 5 laughs from Rob, we've at least got a couple of scenes we can get from it. So
Yes.
let's
I
go
assume
around the
there's
horn
5
on
different
favorite
scenes, right?
scenes
Yeah.
because we've dug it a hole. Now let's see what we got out of it with some fun. So
Yeah.
Rob, I'm going to start with you.
I'm
Give
digging
me-
through my notes here.
Give me from
So-
your notes of sin.
Eric, I
What
can
you
go
enjoyed
while
about this
Rob
movie.
sifts
Go
through his
first,
notes.
please. Go first,
Yeah.
please.
So, yeah, I'll take it and give Rob a bit of a stall.
Okay.
My favorite scene is it's in the strip club, but it's not the one that you think. It's where Randy Quaid sees the sign. They're looking for people to work in the strip club, and he goes in and you see him getting a lap dance. And they're like, "Okay, buddy, it's time to go." He's like, "Oh, has it been 8 hours already? This is so much fun. It feels like I should be paying
What a
you."
great shift.
That was my biggest laugh of the whole movie. That was so good. Like, what a!
And did you
that was
recognize
a
the
great
guy
joke.
that came out? The owner of the bar. Did you recognize?
Okay,
him?
so
Yeah.
I recognized him as the bad guy from Kindergarten Cop.
Yes.
And
Yes. Kimball.
he's Something About Mary as well. He's the cop that gets
Right.
Gets him
Okay.
and
Oh,
pulls
that's
him in.
right.
Yeah. No, I remember him being.
Is that
yeah,
after the
bad
3-minute
guy.
abs?
Yeah, after they get caught in the
Yeah, after you get caught with
pit
Harlan
stop
Williams.
with all the
Yeah.
the dink cleaners.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
right. Kimball.
I feel like I should be paying you. What a
Yeah.
great line.
That was funny.
That's
That-
some of the best comedic writing in the whole movie.
Steve, you've got to have one to give me.
Ugh, there's so many bigger
matter, we'll keep
moments.
going.
Okay, one of my favorites is right at the beginning where he's in the diner with Roy and he's trying to hook him in to go, and just where like the waitress comes up, she's like, here's your Tanqueray and tab. And the bigger's like, "Hey, keep them coming, sweets. I got a long drive home." He's like, do me a favor, wash that perfume off before you come back." Right? And then he tells Roy to go sit outside, and then he's sitting there smoking, and he looks over the table with the ladies behind him, and he goes, "Hey, not you. Hey."
Yeah. She's like, "Hi." He's like, "Not you. Hey."
Not
He
you.
doesn't even say that one. And that
Yeah.
was totally ad-libbed.
Oh,
They
yeah,
they would just
100%.
keep rolling because they knew they were going to get gold. So
Yeah.
that scene was supposed to stop there, and they kept rolling, and he just turned. It wasn't even in the script. He just turned and looked at these extras, and it was just all totally ad-lib.
Yeah.
All right, Rob, hit us with a funny.
There's a couple good lines. Is that okay?
There's no scene. You don't have a scene that you enjoy.
I can't think of a scene I enjoy.
Okay,
to be
now I'm
frank.
going to go then because I'm going to keep
Yeah,
this
go
going.
for it.
a bit,
Go for
and,
it.
Yeah,
Go for it.
poo Rob over
I'm
there.
sorry. It's just I was like,
Okay,
Go ahead,
So,
go ahead.
Yeah, I'm astonished. So to me, the fridge scene was great because I totally forgotten. I totally forgotten that Ishmael goes to the fridge as well. So I remember she goes up to the fridge and like, "Oh yeah, that's right," and then she turns around and the whole is, you get the old nip, it's a bit nip. But then I forgot that Ishmael goes to the fridge as well. Which beer would you like, Mr. Munson? Turns around and then they all just gobsmacked. that one got me because I forgot it was coming. So yeah, I'm gonna mention that one. Jamie, have you got another one?
Oh.
Oh, you see, you said you had some.
Yeah. Honestly, it was the Bill Murray being like the you. No, not you. Like that one. It was amazing. It was so good. I can't.
I also like the bit where he stages the robbery, the hold up with the guy with the knife outside the apartment blocks, and that whole thing was staged.
Throws the hot
That whole
coffee in his
scene.
face. Yeah.
But not
mean-
not the bit inside that leads to the classic scene, but the bit outside with those two guys that are sat in the chairs. And after he tells him to get out of here, because the other guys don't know what's happening, the other guy he says, "Get out of here, you scumbag!" And then the other guy in the chair goes, "Pussy." They just sat there through the whole shenanigans, watching it go down, didn't do anything. That bit got me. That bit cracked me up.
I did like the barfing scene with the Woody Harrelson paying
Sound
off
of
his
Silence?
rent
Oh,
and vomiting. That
Yeah.
was hilarious. That was legitimately funny.
Is it the Graduate that
This is
scene was with the
Robinson.
leg up
Yeah.
and pulling the
Yeah,
stocking
that
on?
was The Graduates.
with the varicose veins and the
Oh,
bulky tighty whities and
double
Yeah.
underpants, like the Y fronts on top. Oh my god!
Yeah. Just
That
the
whole-
barfing and her just being like, it wasn't that bad.
Wasn't that bad. I mean,
Yeah.
I was going to do the quote, but I don't know
Oh.
if the quote is good for live. For live, but that whole thing, pump and dump. Oh my god!
You really jarred something loose there, Tiger.
Yeah.
Charge something loose. Yeah. That's stuff you will only hear in a Farrelly Brothers movie. Like that's a hallmark of their writing.
Just ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. Hey Rob, did you think of one?
I kind of I like scene, not we're not talking quotes, talking
No,
scene.
either or.
Well, okay. Well, I had a couple quotes, but there was a scene where it was in the montage, one of the 13 montages in this movie, and where it's what's her face kind of distracting all the bowlers as they're hustling money from them, and she walked up to the screen and started filling out the TV on the like writing on the TV.
Yeah.
I thought for some reason I laughed at that. It was kind of like the blonde using whiteout on a computer screen sort of thing. That made me chuckle. But there's.
What about the sheep? Did that part of the
Yeah,
montage?
I mean the old sheep thing. Yeah, that's
dude.
Yeah,
the sheep was hilarious.
Yeah,
I did get a kick out after the two people were fighting each other in the parking lot, and she just nails him in the nuts, and he's like, "You must have a really wide foot. You got both of them." I thought that was pretty funny.
And he starts wailing on her chest.
Yeah. That was a little over the top, but yeah, it's just
Yeah.
that was
Yeah,
funny.
the boob punches. I was like, all right, that's grade 8.
That's where you
Hey,
call
humor.
the line.
I got
That
another
was
one.
too much.
Steve.
I got another one.
Okay, who's gonna? Hey, let the new guy go first.
Okay. Where he's convincing Roy to go pull the scam on the guys, and they're walking up the stairs, and Roy's like, "Geez, I don't know, this doesn't feel so right." And he's like, "All right, you better go call your mom and dad. I mean, I wouldn't have the guts to tell them, I couldn't do it. You better call them before they go to bed." And he's like, "Oh, all right, nice flip flop, way to go." And they just keeps walking up the stairs. Anytime I hear somebody say flip flop, I immediately think that. Or if somebody at work changes their mind on something, I'm like, nice flip flop, let's go.
So that scene's living in your brain, is what you're
Oh,
saying
yeah.
to me. Okay, I love it. I go right back to the beginning of the movie when they're doing the first battle, the first playoff where Roy wins, and you haven't established the characters yet, so you just hear what sounds like a commentator talking, and it's Ernie talking, and it sort of pans back, and you see him looking, and sweat's coming down. He gives him that whole thing, and then it pans back, and he's like, "Hey, I didn't talk when it was your go." He's, "Oh, was I speaking out loud?" That was a great introduction for what an asshole this guy is.
Yeah, your butt feels like
It's
a
like a
bratwurst that's
ready
about
to explode. Yeah, your bladder's as full as a vacuum bag. And
I did appreciate the one, like at the beginning of the movie, you see Woody walking into the bowling alley, the king of the walk, and he's just grabbing pizza off some guy's plate, and they're all high-fiving, and he tries to do that later in the movie. He just grabs some guy's pizza, like pushing him away, takes his pizza back.
What are you doing?
Yeah.
There was once a quote that I remember Randy Quaid saying they were looking at the cute girl again, and they're like, with those narrow hips, she can have more than 6 or 7
kids.
children. Started
Yeah.
getting a laugh out of that. I thought that was cute.
I mean, honestly, the whole last match to me was the movie. I mean, I made it through the movie again this time, just waiting for that last match. The montage, the hair going everywhere, the congratulations at the end where he takes the hand and it comes off again another time in the movie, but he just throws it to the crowd as he just stands there looking at his hook. I mean, that whole montage to me was great. It was so good. Any more from you, Steve?
What? Steve went. I got
Oh,
one.
sorry,
I've
Jamie.
had one
Jamie,
for a while.
go.
Jesus.
Go.
Damn it, I protest.
Know your role, new guy.
I'm just trying to make you feel welcome, Jamie.
I've been waiting.
Okay.
Here, I'll get Rich.
I'm surprised none of the. Oh wow!
Wow. Here we go.
Dick
Careful, Rob. We
move.
don't want to lose you again.
Still look into your future, Hosenose.
Yeah.
Yay.
Yeah. I'm surprised nobody has mentioned anything of Roy on the Amish farm yet.
Well, hey,
Like,
we got a list. We're making our way through. Go for it.
I gotta go for the best one out of there, where they're basically like, he's not even gonna be out of bed yet, and they check his bed and he's gone. He's like, well, I hope you guys don't mind. I got up early and milked your cow, and it took some doing though, and it took some going, and it took a while, and then pow, all at once. And he's like drinking out of the bucket, and they're like, we don't have a cow. Bull. He's like, just him signing off, just be like, I'm gonna go brush my teeth.
Gonna go brush my teeth.
That got me. That got me
that,
good.
I don't know if that is a common gag, and so it doesn't, or was that the first time we got the gag and everyone's used it since? Because Ali was saying to me, she goes, "Oh, that's an oldie, but a goodie," you know. But I think it was that. And I think from there, we probably dragged it through our lives with us. And
I can't see anybody doing it before them. Like, to me, that felt very, very like classic Farrelly Brothers.
But, you know, it's funny, you brought all the stuff about being on the farm. And to me, that was the stuff that I thought didn't age well and was kind of lame. Like, for the jokes, it was like the bull thing. Oh, the horseshoe, we're cutting the thing down. Grandma's beard.
But come on, that scene where Ishmael comes in and gives her a kiss and then walks off.
Even the barn raising was hilarious, where he's like helping hold it up, and they call lunch, and he just fucks off out of there,
and they all crowd him. Hey, you know what it says in the Bible? No, why don't you tell us? You shouldn't do it. Or is it you should? You know what it says about not forgiving in the Bible? No, why don't you like this? You shouldn't do it. It's not a good not to. Ridiculous. I prefer the bit of the montage of the barn building where you see the bull come onto picture and it's just there with everything hanging down on the floor, just chasing after him. Oh my god, that was ridiculous. But the cutting the shoes off, that didn't work for me this time around.
No,
that didn't work.
Shoes off.
The horse,
they had
the
Buttercup,
horse,
the giant horse.
Oh
right?
god, yeah.
He's like, it took a while, but I got him off.
Yeah.
Womp womp.
Yeah, that one was a little bit too much.
Yeah,
I enjoyed the indecent proposal throwback, man. I thought that was hilarious too. That one got me.
And then especially when you think that, you know, Woody and Demi were in that movie, right?
Right.
Exactly. Funny. Yeah.
You see, if you know, you know. All right, Jamie, do you have any others? I don't want to go to Steve yet.
I think this is probably my last one, but the one where Roy and Ishmael try and pull the bowling scam, and Ishmael's just like, "Oh man, I'm so bombed," and the bartender's like, "Oh yeah, you get bombed off ginger ales."
Yeah,
and Roy's just like, "Nah, you sniffing glue in the parking lot."
which takes us to the other character of the movie, which I don't know, man. I'm not sure about. I know he's another one that they've used in their movies. The Stanley, the Stanley guy with the eyeshadow.
I don't remember.
The one that she's running away from. Do you even remember him?
Oh yeah.
They go to the house.
Yeah. He was in Dumb and Dumber. I mean, he's in all the Farrelly Brothers.
Rob,
movies.
he's in all Moran.
Really?
Rob Moran, his name.
I didn't.
But yeah,
he's
that
in
whole
all of them.
The only thing about that sideline that got me, that was cracking me up, was when they all meet up at the end and they come after Roy, and they're all stood by the car and they all get hit in the nuts, and they're all just getting whacked in the nuts, and that one just cracked me up. So I don't know why, but I enjoyed that one.
I did laugh that Morgana, the kissing bandit, made an appearance out of all. And then as Bill Murray gets the kiss, he all right, waves her off and just cops
pushes her away by her boobs.
Yeah, cops a feel as she goes away, and I thought that was pretty funny.
Okay, so of all the things we've mentioned and all the scenes you've mentioned, no one has mentioned the advertisement they played before the tournament. How did that one sit with you on this watch round? Steve, seeing as you're a fan, not to try and set you up for failure, but how did that one go down?
It was so funny. Sometimes Big Earn comes. I get up in the morning. Big Earn's already there.
Already there. And on the last scene, he's just got all of them there, and his hand is down to her pants. He's not even holding her on the hip. His hand is in the pants. It's ridiculous.
Yeah,
absolutely ridiculous. But 90s. So yeah, I don't think it sat well. I felt embarrassed and awkward as I watched it. Especially the sporting when they went to play football in the backyard.
Oh yeah, he snaps the skirt up or whatever. Yeah. So there might be some problematic stuff there.
You think? Yeah, that was funny though. Sometimes when I wake up in the morning, Mr. McCracken's already there. Oh my god, that was too funny. Too funny. I don't know where else we can go on this, but.
Well, I got one more.
One more scene.
One more scene / just series of lines was when Roy's being interviewed at the tournament at the end, and the guy's like,
yeah.
So Roy, what have you been doing all these years? After the hand, no, and there's the 80s.
That's actually a good scene.
For a while, I drinking. Are you still drinking? No, I don't. That's behind me. Why are you buying?
Why are you buying?
That was good, actually.
But there was other appearances through this movie, but I don't know any of these people. But I did look it up because you could tell that there was people in there that you were supposed to notice were on the screen. So there was a legendary Major League Baseball pitcher, Robert Clemens.
Oh yeah.
Roger Clemens is actually Skidmark, the boyfriend of the girl who wants to dance in the bar.
Yeah,
so
another famous Boston area athlete that makes it into a Fairley Brothers. Exactly.
Yeah.
You got Cam Neely of the Boston Bruins and Roger Clemens of the Boston Red Sox at the time.
Yeah.
There you go. So he was Skidmark, the afeared Skidmark that comes into the.
And then he's like. You didn't have to have drinks with him afterwards. Went overboard with rubber Tabasco in his eyes.
And the other one was two pro golfers. There was Billy Andrade, I think it is Andrade, and Brad Faxton were two pro golfers that make an appearance as members of the crowd in the bowling scenes. And then the two bowlers that Roy defeats were pro bowlers Mark Roth and Randy Peterson.
Yeah.
So I think they even had their names on the back, but I don't know any of them. But they were the ones we're supposed to be casting our eyes on. And hey, look, it's the cool.
They had a couple other cameos too. They had John Popper, the lead singer of Blues Traveler.
I was so happy to see them.
I haven't got to the music yet.
Oh, I'm stealing your bit.
Jesus.
Well, it's a cameo.
It's a cameo. Here we go. Well, I'll remove him. He's out.
Oh, wow. There it is, Steve.
Second time, man. Second time. The third time, you'll just be over it. Yeah, I'm busy next time. Yeah, I'm busy.
Yeah.
Yeah, we did have a couple of musical acts, and it was quite fun to see it come on. So yeah, the Blues Traveler. They're the guys we get at the end with the harmonica, all dressed up in the Amish stuff. But he was also the announcer on the competition. So the guy stood up on the mic. Yeah, he's same guy.
That's what I was trying to get at, not the music thing.
Yeah. So he was in there as a cameo, but also it's a semi-cameo when you're actually dressed up as the characters playing the music, right? That was a great song though, right?
Oh,
I kind of like it.
So good on that thing. Oh my god, he's so good on the harmonica.
Did your eyes get cast to the national anthem that gets sung? Because you kind of linger on this crazy rock-looking group singing the national anthem. Do you remember that bit?
Yep.
You know who that was?
Sure do.
Anyone else?
Nah,
Does newbie take it?
I
No,
know
Rich,
after
take it
the
away,
fact.
Hosenose.
Have you
Urge
ever heard of
Overkill.
the band Urge Overkill?
No.
Yes.
Because I have not. But that's who that was.
Have you
Nice.
ever watched Pulp Fiction?
Yes.
Yes.
That's exactly where I knew that from. Yeah.
Where were they in
Girl,
Pulp Fiction?
you'll be a woman.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yep.
Oh, there you go. I'm
That's
educated,
their-
and
I
I
think that's
appreciate
sort of
that.
their biggest thing.
So
yeah.
they were the guys singing the national anthem.
It's like poetry.
And
It rhymes.
and did any of you get that? We talked about scenes earlier. Did any of you get the scene where the trash bags get thrown at Ishmael with the guys dressed as native Indians in the back of the truck?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh,
yes.
yeah.
Do you
that
know?
was-
Do you know where that? Because I had no idea where that came from.
That was the commercial about the anti-littering commercial
Yeah.
with the
Yeah.
Native American crying when he sees
Yeah.
all the pollution, except the guy wasn't Native American, he was Italian.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was very. It was
Turns
very.
around with a
I didn't know
tear.
anything about it.
Yes.
And Ali
Yeah.
educated me on that one and let me.
Yeah.
and
That was
something
a brutal reference.
That was
Well-
very hard to watch.
At this point, I think that trope was done to death. I mean, that's not the
Yeah.
first time the garbage in the
Oh,
yeah,
highways.
it's been-
For me, it
done.
wasn't that. It was the guys in the truck making the whoa 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 noise, and I think
Yeah.
there's some guy wearing a headdress. It was
Yeah,
just like
it was almost as bad as
ooh.
MXC, right?
Nothing, not quite.
Now, did you also
Yeah.
spot the in the bar? I think it was a bar, or was it a bar? I think it was a bar or one of the bowling alleys. I'm sure it was a bar. It was a performance of another singer. Did you remember that? And he was kind of ad lib singing it. Did it remind you of anything? You don't
No.
remember this one? He had a guitar and was kind of singing the lines.
Oh,
was-
yeah, that was the Fairley Brothers.
No, that
No,
was
That wasn't the Fairley Brothers
that was
singing?
Jonathan.
Oh, yeah.
Jonathan Rickman, who is also the guy who does
He's been
all
in
of the
other
music
Fairley
through
Brothers
Something About
movies, right?
Mary. So
Okay,
you know when
then
it
that's
cuts-
okay. That's what I
Yeah.
thought was the Fairley
Yeah.
Brothers. Yeah,
Yeah.
I was like,
Yeah, that's
oh,
right.
that's from Something About Mary. Immediately, those the two singers at the beginning of the movie and so on. I thought that was the Fairley Brothers.
No.
So,
No.
well, anyway, it checked off a box in my bingo card.
So that
Like,
that was
okay,
actually
there's
the
another one.
same dude that they went on later to use in Something About Mary in a much bigger
Yeah.
scale.
Mhm.
Yeah, that was just some more interesting facts that I managed to dig up to help you through this amazing movie that you watched. Do you have any other quotes you want to get out of the way? Because we kind of covered them in favorite scenes. So if you
was a
have any
random-
quotes,
There was a random yell as Woody Harrelson was bowling. I think one guy was like, "What? Go get him, Luther!" I thought that was pretty funny, like Lex Luthor. At least
and
that's how I took the
that's a
joke.
reference to another movie, I think, or a TV show or something, where
thought it was just a
someone
reference to Lex
randomly
Luthor.
shouted that out. I don't know the full story on that one, but I know that was a reference, but I didn't know what it was, so I didn't bother writing it down. But that is a reference. And also, apparently, as the tournament starts, the last tournament starts, you hear someone shouting, "Let's go, Big Earl," right? Really loud. And if you listen to it, you can kind of recognize it. And apparently that's Will Ferrell screaming it out. So I don't know if that's true or not. And I went back and watched it again when I found that out, and you can hear it, and it does sound very typical Will Ferrell.
I'm very
but,
curious now.
I don't know if it was or not. I don't know if it was or not. Does anyone else have a quote? Raise your hand.
Oh, ooh.
Okay, Steve.
One that makes me giggle again right at the beginning after he wakes up and the two dudes sitting out front, and Roy's like, "Hey Herb, how's life? Taking forever," and then, which I can kind of
Yeah.
get behind these days.
Some
And then
days,
yeah.
he's like, "Roy, can you get drinks? Can you get sick drinking piss?
I think you can.
Even if it's your own?" I don't know. That makes me giggle.
That's it. That's your quote of quotes.
Well, it's
That-
one.
actually,
those
I
are
kind of
good
like
ones.
that one. I enjoyed that joke.
Jamie,
So-
do you have any other quotes?
No, I think I'm tapped out.
Okay, Rob, do you have any?
No,
No.
sorry.
I'm gonna do a couple of honorable mentions, which again, very, face plant to the head when you hear them. But I enjoyed it when the woman comes up and says, "Hey, handsome, you fancy a dance?" And Roy's like, "Well, I'm kind of busy right now." And she says, "She said handsome, not handless." I laughed at that, and I don't know why, but that one cracked me up. We've already mentioned the Keep 'em Coming sweets. I'm not going to mention that one again. When Claudia's talking to him about his hand being missing and Ishmael's there, she's like, "It must be really hard to spank your monkey." He's like, "You have a monkey?" That one cracked me up. And on the same ridiculous comedy line is when he's flossing his teeth in the mirror, and he says, "What are you doing in there? What are you doing in there, Mr. Munson?" He goes, "Flossing." He goes, "Flossing? Where the hell did I get Munson from?" And he's like, "No, my name's Munson. What I'm doing is flossing." That one cracked me up. And also going back to the flossing, that scene when he's flossing, he's just got all those bits of shit coming out on it because he's never flossed before in his life.
Nasty.
That was
so
gross.
nasty.
That was gross. We've already done the wake up in the morning one. We've already done the you really jarred something loose, Tiger. Oh, another one that cracked me up, which I wrote down was I think he's giving Claudia some shit, and he comes in with one that says some of the dresses you've got need 2 hairdos to wear, which cracks me up because that's like she comes back with, "Look, Mr. Munster, you're not exactly the smartest guy I've ever run across." So, "Oh yeah, and who are you, Alfred Einstein?" So they're the ones that have me giggling.
One
They're the
more
ones
that
that
got me was when they're trying to sneak away from Claudia in the middle of the night, and Roy like falls or something. He goes, "I think I tore my sack." And Ishmael's like, "Are you okay, Mr. Munson?" He's like, "What did I just say?" And he's like, "I think I just tore my sack."
Stupid, right?
Yeah, it's just
Not
stupid.
not as stupid though as the way he's smoking. He's like, "You shouldn't be smoking. It's bad for you." He's like, "Oh yeah, is that right? Who's done more research in this subject than the good people at the American Tobacco Industry?
Yeah.
They say it's harmless. Why would they lie? If you're dead, you can't smoke." Which to me was ridiculous. So yeah, those ones got me. Those ones deserved me writing them down. So if we've got no more characters and we've done our scenes, if we've done no more quotes and we've done our scenes, that leads us on to our favorite character of the movie. So who's it going to be? And I'll start with Rob to get this one out of the way in case there isn't any. Rob, what was your...
Woody Harrelson. I did enjoy the way he was.
Roy
acting.
Munson. That was your favorite character.
I enjoyed his character. I enjoyed the way Woody portrayed him. I actually dug him. So I was rooting for him.
Okay, Jamie, your favorite character of the movie?
It's the landlady. She's hilarious. Yeah, she's hilarious in everything, and she was awesome in this.
Steve, favorite character?
It goes without saying. Didn't I tell you to call me Ernie or Big Ern?
Yeah, I actually had the landlady down there as well, Jamie. It's almost like we're joined at the hip when it comes to the shit. But yeah, that one just so well. And even just every cutscene we get to remind him of his journey. The outtake at the end where she's in the mirror doing all the movements in the mirror with her tongue. And it just gets to the point where she just starts cracking up to herself. That was scary and funny.
I love the jump scares. Yeah, when he's just like he's in the car and he looks in the rearview mirror and she's in the back seat. He's like, "Oh Jesus!"
Yeah. And when he's holding up the sign, "Go Roy," and it's her head on there. Oh God! Oh, you better start exercising that tongue. Rent's due next week.
Rob's just shaking his head.
Yeah.
All right. It was fun. It was fun. I would round it up by saying it was by no means as hilarious as I remember it being when I watched it decades ago. I did have a little bit of the nervous sweats on when I was watching this going, "Oh my God, I thought I liked this." Did it make me laugh? Yes. Am I glad I didn't run out and buy it? Yes. So let's go around the table. I think we know where we stand on it, but let's get some points because we need those points to help my ever decreasing points of my movie choices. So let's start with the positive. Let's start with Jamie.
Oh, the positive, you say?
I think you should go Steve.
I need that
rating wise, I'm giving it a 4.
Okay.
It was funny and I had some laughs for sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, a lot of it fell flat.
Yeah.
And easily my least favorite Farrelly Brothers movie.
Yeah, understood. Rob.
I gave it a 3.
Okay.
The ending was not earned. I did not laugh a lot. That's all. I'm sorry. I've already barked about it at the beginning of the show, but I just was not a fan of this one.
No problem. I'm honestly feeling that's because you've watched it now and you didn't watch it back in the day.
If it was a good movie, it should have held up. To be frank,
not necessarily.
This one, I'm sorry, but I mean, it's just like it just didn't. It didn't hold up, and it's just not a good movie. The ending was hackney. There was way too many montages. I did not like the landlady. It was funny at first,
So
but
Steve,
then I was just like, why she keep coming back?
What are you giving it, Steve?
I'm giving it a 7.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Because
I think I wouldn't go too much higher because I think some of the jokes are dated, the whole Amish thing and all that, and some of them, not as fun as they used to be, but it still holds a place in my alcoholic bowling heart. So
yeah, your rubber hand.
yeah.
Yeah. No, hey, you know what? I get it. I'm actually going to give it a 5. So, it really didn't work for me this time around. I was actually so excited to watch this, and that's why I've had it on my list, because I hadn't seen it for so long, and I had great memories of sharing this movie with friends and talking about it, and that's why I want to get it on the show. But yeah, it's going to get a 5 from me. I really don't need to watch it again, and it doesn't hold the same as it did. I don't disagree with what a lot of people, what you guys have said here, but I don't agree with some of it. I think it had the decent ending, Rob. I do think it had an ending that made sense to me. So I don't necessarily agree with that, but I do agree that it was quite painful. So yeah, a 5 for me. So what does that give us, Rob?
That was 4.75.
Wow. Okay. Hey, that's what we do, man. We see if they stand up. We see if they have longevity. And that's why we enjoy doing this. But we had a lot of laughs. We did have some smiles. We had some chuckles.
Yes, of course.
So I do appreciate you guys watching it. And I'm glad we did. And Steve, thanks for coming on and sharing this with us. I'm glad you were here because you were my champion for this movie. Not that it's a competition.
No, this was a tough one to start with.
Yeah.
No, when you told me you're doing this, I was like, I was in.
Yeah. No, but even so, thanks for joining us, and thanks for being awesome.
I'm always glad to
Steve 3, do you remember what were we talking about for your first episode as part of the crew? Do you remember? I remember mine.
This was a trivia question way back when.
I don't think I remember what my
first episode.
Remember your
what my first movie review was.
Movie review, I don't remember. I'm thinking your first movie review was around things like Condor Man or something like that.
God, that's such a great movie.
Yeah.
I concur.
My first episode as part of the crew was the Star Wars Holiday Special.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Coming in hot.
Yeah.
Super hot. And we had technical issues that day too, so it wasn't
we lost half the episode.
Yeah, lost half the episode.
Dude, that was what the early days were like. I remember those days. Talk about the sweaty, uncomfortable feeling of Rob oh shit. It didn't
I think we should just kind of do it again then.
No.
We should christen Hosenose.
No,
I'm good.
I mean, I would accept doing half of it, maybe the first half that we lost, but yeah, no more.
Well, I don't know, man. I mean, the availability of gummies nowadays, I think we should all do it on a different strain,
Okay, I'm in.
Yeah. just one gummy, different story. See how much we like it at that point.
That's funny.
And riff tracks. Did we watch it with riff tracks? We did watch it with riff tracks, right?
No,
did we not?
No, we didn't.
No.
You did probably.
Okay, so yeah, I would do it again if we watched it with riff tracks and half a gummy.
Well, then we're just watching someone else's content.
No, but it's a different look at it. It's a different thing, and it's legendary, man. Like the holiday special is the holiday special, but watching it with riff tracks, that's legendary. That doesn't go away. That's a way to watch it, man, and that's probably the only way to watch it if you want to have a good laugh, without cringing.
It's fair. Yeah.
Anyway, we digest. Steve, where can we find you?
I gotta pick my movie.
Oh shoot! Okay.
Yeah. It's my pick for movie because Steve didn't want to pick his movie just yet. So I think hopefully Steve will pick his next time. We'll see how it goes.
Yeah.
But I'm picking a movie because it's Christmas time soon. No. And I won't. I know.
God damn it.
I was testing the waters when I asked you about
Yeah, and how
Well,
did
I
that
did-
go for you, Rob?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, okay.
What
So
did you think the feedback gave you as far as
okay,
your,
so
the comments?
let me explain. Let me explain. I was rethinking, like legit rethinking of doing some more Gen X Myths short videos like I did last year, because I kind of enjoyed doing those, looking at TV specials. And I was kind of like, I was already kind of the mindset of let's pick a Christmas movie. And so I asked you guys, what would you suggest for a Gen X Myths? And you all kind of said, fuck Christmas. That's
Bah,
pretty much the
humbug.
answer. Bah humbug. Well, no,
Yep.
you guys were pretty much a little more rude than that. But and so
You're
I
not
was
wrong.
like, well, they're going to enjoy my Christmas pick here. So I'm picking, and there's a purpose to it, because I think I can get someone on the show to join us. Jingle All the Way with Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Oh.
And
so
I'm
this is next week, and I'm in Mexico.
are you in
Oh.
are you in Mexico? No, it's in 2 weeks.
Fuck you,
Ooh.
Hosenose.
I love that this guy gets a new show. He gets on the show,
He
new
wants
job,
vacation already.
and he wants vacation time 1 weekend.
Yeah.
I think it was previously booked.
Hey,
It's not like he joined the show and then booked his vacation.
Yeah, well, I'm starting to question that. But yeah, so I'm hopefully we'll get one of our dancing monkeys to come on the show. I've already talked to Deo, and hopefully if his schedule's free, and he said he would like to come. So I was hoping the 5 of us would be there, but Steve, you're in Mexico in 2 weeks, I guess.
I feel bad
But,
that we only bring Deo on when it's Arnold Schwarzenegger
Oh,
content.
yeah.
And 2,
I
I would like to book
agree.
some holiday time now, Rob.
Too late. No, too late.
Yeah.
Didn't
Poor
get your
Deo.
paperwork in time. But yeah, so I'm going to pick Jingle All the Way, because I think it's a fun movie in general, and I don't think I'll be able to pick another movie before Christmas. So yeah, I thought I'd do that.
Phil Hartman's in that movie.
Yeah, Phil Hartman,
It'll be good.
Arnold Schwarzenegger, and of
Sinbad.
course Sinbad.
Sinbad.
Sold right there.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Jake Lloyd.
And Jake Lloyd.
Yep. So what the role that got him Anakin Skywalker. So
Was
so
it?
there you go. I'm pretty sure it was. Yeah. And that yeah, that's enough right there. So go ahead.
Yeah.
Sorry.
The other massive back catalogue of Jake. So, Steve, where can we find you?
you can find me on the gram at Hosenose Paints. Tiny little figures for Dungeons and Dragons,
Right on, right
And for Rob.
on.
and for Rob.
Occasionally.
Still
Every
on
now
my
and then.
shelf.
You know, special
Host knows
occasions.
Jamie. where
You can
we
find me
find
on you can find me on YouTube on our ongoing YouTube series on the Generation X-Wing podcast YouTube channel called Ready to Believe, where we're still talking about Ghostbuster stuff somehow, some way. Yeah, we actually just released a video on weathering a jumpsuit for Ghostbusters. Dude, the thumbnail, Rob, you have
Yeah.
outdone yourself.
I would
sir.
say the thumbnail is
Yeah,
one of the best
yeah.
ones I've seen for a while.
It's my favorite. It's
Yeah.
my favorite thumbnail that you've done so far.
Yeah,
Happy little
I was
Klaus.
disappointed it wasn't recorded music doing it, but it was very good.
Yeah.
Speaking
And a
of
good
which,
episode.
Rob, where can we find you and all the other amazingly tailed off things that Generation X-Wing can give people?
Well, let's start off with myself, Outer Rim Rookie on Instagram and Facebook, the Outer Rim Rookie Show on our YouTube channel, which hopefully you're watching right now. Like and subscribe. We're at 722 subs. Don't pay any attention to the backdrop of mine, which says 400. But
You
but
gotta
yes,
update your background.
yeah, I got to update the background. I'm just got my AT-AT driver armor, and
Dang, dang,
trying to put a video.
dang.
Oh boy, the beginning of that episode and the end of that episode, when I edit, is going to be two different things. You're going to see a guy who's basically shitting his pants, like, what did I get myself into?
Thankfully, you know a bunch of people who have built hard armor stuff for
Yes.
Star Wars, Rob.
Yeah, I know, but still, the reality's kicking in. So, and also, we can find find the Generation X-Wing podcast on generationxwing.com, Instagram, Facebook, and now finally on Blue Sky, because why not? I thought I'd just try something new. It's like Twitter, but
With less Nazis.
with less.
For now.
For now, we'll give it a shot. It's just another social media site for me to try to catch up with, but we'll see. Hey, follow us on Blue Sky if you're out there. So, thank you.
Awesome. Well, myself, you can find me on Instagram when I can be bothered to go back on. The world's on timeout in my mind at the moment, but I'll keep putting some fun stuff up there. You can look under Shit's Back or Muppet Fire, or you can look under Steve 3D. Steve 3D will probably have toys, and Shit's Back or Muppet Fire will have other life fun. Thanks again for joining me, guys. Thanks for all of these people that have joined us for the live. Great to see you out there. Great to conversation with you. And join us on the next one. Bye.
Bye.
Doot, 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 doot. Bye.
All right. Don't forget we have to do the intro. This is episode 442.
442?
Yeah.
442. Okay.
Oh, there. Wait for my air compressor.
Oh, okay.
Air compressor in the car hole.
Wait,
Wait,
still going.
so
Yep.
you can hear
Yeah, I
it.
just remember seeing
There
Rob
you go.
looking around like, where the hell is that sound coming from in his place?
I literally thought it was my mug creating a vibration because I was holding it. I'm like,
Oh,
this?
so maybe your neighbor kid has dropped piano in favor of jackhammering.
Yeah. Yeah. Either that or your aides are going off without your permission.
Your turn, sir.
You ready?
Yeah.
Is it quiet? Okay. What was it again? 442?
That
Okay,
technically wasn't an attempt. You're still
Yeah.
at run 1.
42, right? 442.
I just want to watch the magic.
Okay. If it's 442, we're good. Is that what it
Yep,
was?
Yep.
It's episode 442, and I'm in charge. And tonight, I'm going to bring you the classic sports comedy from the Farrelly brothers, Kingpin, and a special surprise guest. Stay tuned.
Guest or host?
That doesn't
Or
matter.
just a special surprise.
It's a
Yeah, special surprise.
guest. But then we don't. Then they have to tune in to find out who the guest is, and then they
Okay.
find out that why he's
Well,
there.
All right.
And
It's
they'll
called
be,
dangling a
it's-
carrot, Rob.
We're just
they'll be
lo-
very
we're just
disappointed.
especially when you say classic movie.
Basically, with a blacker beard.
So how do we, like, for you, Steve, this is easy. You can address Steve as Steve, but how do we address Steve and you
Steve
separately?
3 and Hosenose.
Just call me Hosenose.
Is it okay for Hosenose? I'm so used
Yeah.
to calling you Steve, though. So okay,
Yep.
Hosenose. I don't call Jamie Pale Rider.
I could be the Deuce.
The Deuce.
Dropping the Deuce.
I'm gonna giggle every time I say that.
The deuce.
No?
Yo,
No?
Next
yo, the
next
deuce.
episode, I'm calling
What's
you
new
the
in your
Deuce
world?
only. The Deuce. Oh my God, how have I never thought of that before?
Deuce
No.
Bigelow.
Just yeah,
That's
it's only
amazing.
Hosenose.
Deuce?
I'll
Fucking
do.
deuces. Yeah,
I'll do
excellent.
All right.
Steve
Are we still
Hosenose in the
live?
intro.
Yeah, we're still live.
Oh, and
yes.
how?
Oh hi
Yeah.
Oh,
everybody.
and how? Hey, everybody.
This is us making sausage.
The Deuce making sausage. Dropping the
Like some-
Deuce.
AM radio DJ coming to you live. The Deuce.
Coming to you live, dropping the Deuce.
All right, you big
KOBBM, the Deuce.
hit
Boing,
the
boing, boing,
unlive.
boing, boing.
DCU. How's it keep up?
Don't praise the machine.
How's it keep up with the news?
Oh.
All right.
Hit the unlive, unplug your mics, go for a pee.
End stream. I'm going to go now. Is that okay if I go now?
Yeah, take us with you. Peep
All
bells.
right. All right. Bye.